500 million gallons of raw human sewage into the Potomac just a few weeks ago. 500 million gallons of raw human sewage into the Potomac. And then the Park Service uses that water to fill the Lincoln Memorial. Oh my God, there's algae in it. There's algae all over the Lincoln Memorial. Reflection pool, whatever you want to call it. But nobody wants to. Let's talk about that 500 million gallons of raw human sewage that got dumped into the Potomac in Washington, D.C. And then let's talk about the billions upon billions upon billions of gallons of raw human sewage that are being dumped all over the United States into the rivers and the creeks and the lakes and the estuaries. Yeah, like the Stinkahana River and the Flint River and the St. Lawrence River and the Great Lakes. And, it just doesn't stop. All the 6,000 septic tanks on Lake George. 6,000 septic tanks sitting on bedrock, all leaching into Lake George. Isn't that just yummy? Lake George Association. Lake George Association, Tom West. Yeah, old Tom West and Billy Bob Mason and Richard Mason and Jimmy Mason and Bobby Mason. And yeah, good old Lake George, the Park Commission. 6,000 septic tanks for decades and decades sitting on top of bedrock, draining right into Lake George. That's why the bottom of Lake George looks like the green Lincoln Memorial reflection pool. Lake George is the same condition on the bottom. You got to go down and look at the bottom. Get a hold of Chris Novinsky there for the Lake George Association and get a hold of them fellows up there at the Jefferson Project in Bolton Landing and ask them, is Judson Witham making it up about the 6,000 septic tanks and all the algae on the bottom of Lake George? And how they flush the lake to the Ticonderoga Creek there, the Ty River, the poop chute, so that they can flush all that crap into Lake Champlain. Is Judson Witham making that up? Yeah. Ticonderoga didn't have any sewage treatment at all until the mid-1970s. They dumped all of their sewage into the Poop Chute River, and then flushed it with Lake George, with the Dam 230, Dam A at the Upper Falls. Yeah, they flushed Lake George, and they flushed the Ticonderoga River, the Poop Chute. Now, let's get back to Surfs Against Sewage. It's on Twitter, it's on X. You can find Surfs Against Sewage, and you can find the ugly facts about how massive, unbelievable, mind-bending, staggering amounts of raw human effluent is dumped into the world's rivers and creeks and streams and groundwater. Oh, the groundwater. Oh, God. The karst systems beneath all the septic tanks and septic systems of like northeastern Tennessee. Holy shit, ladies and gentlemen. The sinkholes and everything else. Northeastern Tennessee's a mess because of all the septic tanks that sit on top of the karst where all the groundwater is. Hello, EPA. Come on, Lee Zeldin. Let's talk about it. Lee Zeldin. And my friends up there to Lake George, 6,000 septic tanks sitting on bedrock. What do you want? It all drains into the lake. Hello, Lake George. You got a septic problem, and I'm pretty sure I proved it. I'll tell you how I did it. Tommy Muratori and old Sean McDonald. I'll tell you how I did it, Dale Henry and Billy Mason. Oh, God, Billy Mason. Man, I'll tell you what. I used to work for all those contractors that built those lakefront mansions, all those beautiful lakefront homes. I was right there and I saw all the septic tanks getting built. Yeah. And I finally, well, the bottom of Lake George is just slime green. It's slime green like the reflection pool at Lincoln Memorial. It's slime green. And if you have any questions, get a hold of the Darren Freshwater Institute at Bolton Landing, the Jefferson Project, and get a hold of, I don't know, the Lake George Park Commission. Yeah. And I'm going to give a tip I had. I got a phone call the other day from a pretty cool guy named Luke Dow. Luke and I had a pretty good laugh about John Cody. You see, I was friends with John Cody too, way back when he was dating Ann Krasinowski. And one thing John Cody taught me how to do is roll a doobie with one hand. That's for Luke Dow. Hasta la vista. We will be back.